the arrival of just a few of over 2,000 guests gives some idea of the party of the century at a country club near Biarritz. It was given by the 69-year-old Marquis de Cuevas, who made a very grand entrance, dressed, so they say, as the god of nature. The 18th century was the period, and even cameramen conformed. The reception of his guests by the Marquis must have been an exhausting affair, but soon everyone present was enjoying the first of 3 performances by the Marquis's own ballet company. One doesn't usually go to a party on a camel, but René Jean-Mer, the French dancer, did. Merle Oberon was one of many stars who attended this astonishing and extravagant affair. Accompanying Don Quixote, Miss Elsa Maxwell, the New York hostess, came as Sancho Panza. And of course there was dancing. Estimates of the cost of the party vary from £30,000 to £100,000, which of course included quite a lot to eat and drink. Some reports say the party was a flop, but I wouldn't mind betting the hangovers were all right.
Now what? You wanted to talk about this party he gave. I think it was the last, perhaps, of the great parties, because that was a tradition in France. The South Americans always came over and wanted to be French or wanted to impress the French. In any case, all Chileans feel, at the time anyway, felt much too far away, because Chile is way down there at the end. And I've always thought it was like light from stars, distant stars. It takes time for them to reach us. And in the same way, people like my father looked at Europe and envisioned it from an earlier time. So his dream was probably of a France in 1900. And as I try to explain to everybody, France was the New York before New York, because it was a center, it was the capital then of culture and everything, and that's what he dreamt of. So long before my father, there was somebody called Charles Bastegui from Mexico, who I don't know what he made his money in, but he gave a huge party, costume ball in Venice, which everybody all over went to. Ladies got themselves made costumes. There were other parties given by the Rothschilds, etc. But the most famous one was the Bastegui one. And I think my father felt that he had to compete with that. So he already had his ballet company, and he put on this ball in Biarritz, which was less. It was sort of like a stage event in a way. And the French are brilliant at doing son et lumière, lights. They're wonderful at lighting, at stage effects. So it's a natural for them. And these were like artistic events. I mean, the English embassy gave parties, a whole lot of people gave parties, and they were all sort of art form, which of course became too expensive to do later. And it's another sign of times changing. I remember there was a float of ballet that crossed the water, which was very beautiful. And in a way, it was a wonderful public relations event, which my father was very good at for the company and himself. For my father, he was dressed as Louis XIV, which I thought didn't suit him too well because he was not tall enough. But anyway, and my husband, I was winter for some reason, and I had white dress with lots of feathers, and my husband, for some reason, who was French, was representing the fall, and he had antlers, so my feathers were constantly getting entangled with his antlers, which was sort of tiresome. But nevertheless, that was fun. My mother wasn't exactly social at all. I mean, she was social, but she was not a social butterfly or trying to be social in any way. I don't think she even came to the party. But my father was more of a theatre man than either himself. So the ball was a spectacle, basically. And finally, you know, the important people left, and then there were just dancers and others hopping around dancing, and all the food was swept away. So it was like a circus a bit in a way at the end. Only, unfortunately, the Catholic Church decided at that point to make an issue of people giving balls and things like that. So my poor father was crestfallen, because of course he wasn't one of the worst at all. Everybody had been doing it who could. But he was a bit criticized, so that was a sort of blow to himself.